This video is sponsored by Adorama. What's going on, guys? Aldrin Estacio here with FlytPath.com. As you can see here, I have the DJI FPV Drone. I do have the Action 2 magnetic adapter, which is hooked up to this little kind of action cam mount for the FPV drone. I actually picked up a pretty affordable one on Amazon. I'll actually leave that link down below if you guys are looking at flying with an action cam on the top of your FPV drone. Now I do have the Action 2 right here, and what's really nice is that with this magnetic adapter, all you have to do is place it right on top. The magnets hold it in place. Make sure those hooks are secured on the side, and there you go. You're able to fly with your Action 2 on top of something like this, which is a DJI FPV drone. Now, of course, depending on how fast you're flying, you're gonna need to adjust the angle of that camera here. As you can see, if this is flat, you can see the angle it's at, but of course, I'm gonna be flying this way, so you're gonna wanna have it at an angle where the camera is actually gonna be facing straight forward. So I might need to do a few different flights just to see if my angle is correct, but as of right now, that's kind of the angle I'm going at right there. And we'll see, of course, we'll do a couple test flights, see how fast I'm gonna be flying, and then adjust my angle as needed. Now, the one thing that's great about a setup like this is because there is rock steady on the Action 2, and you're able to shoot at 4K at 120. If you're shooting with the internal camera or the onboard camera of the FPV drone, if you wanted to shoot at 120, you're only able to bring that down. You have to bring it down to 1080p. So the FPV drone can shoot at 4K at 60, as well as 1080p at 120. So if I do want that 4K 120, I'm able to pull it off of this right here, the Action 2. And just for these first test flights, I haven't flown the FPV drone in about a month now, so I'll probably just leave it in sport mode and just whip around this baseball field here. But I do want to see how big of a difference is the internal stabilization of the actual drone itself, as well as the resolution. Put those side by side so at least you can see what comes out of camera from the drone and also what comes out of camera on the Action 2. I think one of the biggest differences we'll see, of course, is that 4K 120 versus the 1080p at 120. But of course, like I said, let's get this up in the air, get a couple flights in, and then I'll put those videos side by side. And before we get into that side by side footage, a quick word from our sponsor, Adorama. And for those who aren't familiar with Adorama, they are one of the most reputable online retail stores. If you're looking at picking up anything from camera equipment, electronics, even drones and camera gear, just like the Action 2. So if you guys are looking for some of the best online deals right now for the DJI Action 2, as well as this, the FPV drone, I'll leave those links to Adorama down below in the video description. All right, so next thing I want to test now is horizon steady on the Action 2. Now, if you guys remember, horizon steady means that even if my drone or my camera is moving left to right, ideally the horizon will stay nice and flat. So the footage coming out of the camera will still have those angles in there, But ideally, the footage coming out of the Action 2, you probably won't even know it's moving around because the horizon should stay nice and level. And then what I want to do is try and see what the 4K 120 looks like as well. And there it is, guys, a few passes with the DJI FPV drone with the Action 2 attached, just like that. Kind of cool. That magnetic adapter allows you just to pop it on and you can be off and flying. Now, as far as flight characteristics go, I didn't feel like it was giving me any issues up in the air with the additional weight. Just on takeoff, it kind of leans back a little bit more just because it ends up being top heavy when you're coming back. So only on takeoff where I really felt it. But when I was up in the air, it felt fine. It didn't really feel like it was changing my characteristics that much at all. Let me know what your thoughts of the side-by-side comparisons of the drone footage compared to the Action 2. Let me know your thoughts on that footage down below in the video description. I do like the fact I'm able to shoot at 4K at 120 on the Action 2 because you're only able to max that out on the drone at 1080p at 120. And also we do have the 4K at 60 on both. So good to know that you're able to get 4K 60, but I do like the option now to have that 4K 120 on that Action 2 footage. Once again, I just want to give a shout out to our sponsor of this video, Adorama. Make sure you guys check out those links down below. And if you guys want more information about the DJI Action 2 action camera or the FPV drone, make sure you guys check out those links down below in the video description. This is Anastasio with FlytPath.com. I'll see you guys next video. Take care.